Alright, so I've been working on modding my K31 out a little bit. I kind of want to turn it into like a deer and big game rifle, and just like the level of comfort and niceties shooting this rifle compared to pretty much any other rifle I've shot, especially for the price, is just uncompared. So my thinking kind of was, if I'm gonna make a nice deer gun out of anything, why not just make one out of the K31 instead of going out and buying something, or, you know, they just shoot pretty slick. So what I've done here, first and foremost, is I got the Swiss Products muzzle brake, just because military guns have really spoiled me about being gentle with my muzzle. You know, so I could put this muzzle down on the floorboard of a pickup truck and not worry about my precious crown, stuff like that. But so at first I was just going to make my own, and I did turn my own here, and my thought was I wanted to blind pin this, or, you know, cross pin with a notch in the barrel, like how an AR-15 kind of goes together, but I really didn't want to drill my rifle. So then I was thinking of other things, and instead of messing with it forever, I just decided to go ahead and fork over the 90 bucks or so for the Swiss Products clamp on. The only thing about it is it's really heavy, and, you know, it's on the very end of your gun, so you really feel the weight out there. And if I'm going to be hunting with this, I would kind of like to keep the weight down. So what I think I'm going to do is just come in here on the side and mill a pretty big chunk out of that. I haven't measured, but like probably a half inch or 7/16 end mill, and just take a big old swath right out of the side there, and do the same on the other side, kind of like an AK-74. And I think that'll help with recoil a little bit. I haven't shot it with this guy on here yet. I've just been kind of tinkering, but so that'll help with the compensation and hopefully cut down on the weight quite a bit, because I'll be taking, you know, quite a bit of mass out of it, but I'll still get the biggest benefit I want out of this is crown protection, so should be fine there. Went right on, can't complain. A little steep, but 90 bucks or a week of headache for me, so I just spent the 90 bucks and got it. I also went ahead and grabbed the S&K rear sight replacement for scout mount, and haven't Loctited this guy yet. I'm going to do a little more in-depth video about it once I go ahead and Loctite it, get everything tightened down and take it apart, but it went together pretty good. Seems solid, I can't complain. And then a Nikon Monarch 2.5 to 8 extended eye relief scopes, what I ended up putting on there. It's a 28mm objective, and the eyepiece is definitely bigger. I wasn't expecting the eyepiece to be this big, but I did go with the S&K rings, because with the Weaver S&K mount, your scope ends up just a little higher, and I really wish I could get this lower. I don't know, I might pick up another scope that's bigger, just so, you know, because I do have quite a bit of space there I could still use to get it down close to my bore, but it seems okay so far. My only complaint is I wish I had a little less eye relief. It's really only good with my cheek weld in between 6 and 8 power, which is a little more magnification than I was really looking to use, but I don't know. At the short end, this scope focuses at like 9 inches, 9.2 or something like that on 8 power, so I really need a scout scope with an eye relief of like around 7.5 to 9 would probably be better, because it's pretty much unusable to me at like 4 or less, and it goes down to 2.5, you know. And for quick acquisition, the whole idea of the scout, I really want that lower power. You know, being able to crank it up when I want to is nice too, but would really prefer the lower power. But yeah, so I got the mount there and the scope, and then I did order a comb riser, Chinese Voodoo Tactical. It hasn't showed up yet, but I think you guys can imagine that well enough. And a limb saver. I got pretty long arms, and recoil, you know, is real, so just threw a limb saver on there to lengthen it up a little bit and make it a little softer shooting. I can show you the mount for the box mount, and there's my old rear sight. And I think what I'll do on my cheek riser when it shows up is it's got Velcro on one side that's supposed to go for your cartridges, but I'm not a big fan of putting cartridges on the side of your rifle, so I think I'll get a little pouch for this and put it on there, and then if I ever have a problem in the field when I'm hunting sometime, I could just swap out my scope base for my rear sight again and be good to go if I, you know, break my scope or something and drop it. I did order a case of GP11 because it's getting kind of hard to get, and I think I'll keep this just like in case of fire break glass scenario, because I don't really want to burn it up. I think I gave $249.99 out of Lucky Gunner for this, and I do have my brass from when I used to shoot a lot of milsurp stuff. That's all PPU brass, and I got 2 more boxes of soft points, so I should be able to get zeroed with that. I do have a little bit of GP11 left, like 13 rounds, and then work up a load, because I do still have my dies. I just never had the time to load for it. But yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot of videos about pimping your K31 out, so I just thought I'd make one real quick. And I do want to make a more in-depth video about the mount, how it goes together, and I'll do that when I Loctite it. But yeah, these things are just so slick. I've been playing a little bit. It's kind of what's been up with me, but yeah, do plan on doing quite a bit of big game hunting next year, so maybe I'll make some videos, some videos. I don't know if we can get a sight picture through here. Oh yeah. Not terrible. And I think that's on 8, you know, so nope, that's 6. So yep, but I'm pretty pumped. Let me know what you think. Have a good one.